What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome back to Commanders HQ, your home for all the latest moves, rumors, and insider takes straight from Ashburn. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications. Because today, we're talking about a surprise cut that might be a blessing in disguise for the burgundy and gold. Jadavion Clowney is on the market, and the Commanders need to make the call now. Let's break it down. Let's start with the obvious. Washington did not address its biggest need in the 2025 NFL Draft: edge rushing. Sure, the Commanders had a strong, calculated draft. They focused on secondary depth, offensive firepower, and long-term upside. But with the loss of Dante Fowler Jr., the team's sack leader last year, the defensive edge is dangerously thin. Right now, Washington is rolling into the season, relying on Dorrance Armstrong Jr., Clelin Ferrell, Deatrick Wise Jr., and Jacob Martin. Solid rotational guys, yes. Game changers? Not even close. If this team wants to compete deep into the season, especially with a young franchise QB in Jayden Daniels leading the way, it needs to disrupt opposing passers. It needs someone with real juice off the edge. Enter Jadavion Clowney. In a stunning move, the Carolina Panthers released the former #1 overall pick. And just like that, one of the best available edge rushers on the market is up for grabs. Now 32, Clowney is no longer the generational prospect he was, coming out of South Carolina. But he's still a productive, versatile, and physical presence. The kind of player who brings value to any locker room and elevates a defense's ceiling. His resume: 58 career sacks, 15 forced fumbles, 32 pass deflections, and countless moments where he completely wrecks offensive game plans. He's played in multiple systems. He knows how to rush the passer standing up or with his hand in the dirt. He's seen playoff football. And guess what? He's hungry for one more run. Now, let's talk scheme. Clowney fits perfectly into what Dan Quinn and defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. are building. Washington's new-look defense thrives on versatility, disguise, and physicality, all of which Clowney brings in spades. He's played in 4-3 and 3-4 looks throughout his career. In fact, last season with the Panthers, he was still generating pressure on a consistent basis, despite little help around him. In Quinn's hybrid front, Clowney could fill the exact role that Dante Fowler Jr. had last year. A situational pass rusher with starter-level experience. He can play 30-40% of the snaps, rotate in fresh, and disrupt opposing quarterbacks without being overused. And with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner set as the starting linebackers, Clowney adds a veteran presence who could even slide into the second level if needed. Let's talk business. Bringing in Clowney right now is a low-risk, high-reward signing. He's a late offseason free agent who won't command top dollar. He knows he's a role player now, but he also knows how to win. And he's still got gas in the tank. Washington has cap space. It has a need. And it has a clear championship window opening with Jayden Daniels under center. This is the kind of savvy move that smart front offices like Adam Peters make to round out a playoff roster. These are the little pieces that separate contenders from pretenders. Let's take a step back. This offseason has been aggressive, calculated, and bold. First, the Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel, reuniting him with Cliff Kingsbury. Then came the blockbuster deal for Laramie Tunsil to anchor Jayden Daniels' blindside. Add in Bobby Wagner and the return of Frankie Louvu. That's leadership and production at all three levels. Now you throw in a piece like Clowney. Suddenly, this defense becomes complete. With a mix of youth, explosiveness, and veteran savvy, it's the kind of group that can carry this team deep into January. But wait, there's another wrinkle. According to Anthony Palacios from Last Word on Sports, the Commanders should explore a trade for Green Bay Packers linebacker Key Walker. Why? Because Green Bay declined his fifth-year option, signaling they may want to move on before losing him for nothing in 2026. For Washington, This is about future-proofing the linebacker room. Wagner is a Hall of Famer, but he's also 34. Luvu is just entering his prime. Adding Walker would give the Commanders a young, athletic linebacker to develop now, and potentially build around later. It's a chess move. One that good teams make before they're forced to react. The Commanders are close. You can feel it. The offense is young, talented, and growing. The defense has leaders, energy, and hunger. The culture has changed. And you can see Dan Quinn's stamp all over this locker room, but championship teams know how to close the gap. Jadeveon Clowney may not be a superstar anymore, but he can be the final piece, a situational disruptor, a tone setter, a guy who knows how to prepare, how to lead, and how to attack quarterbacks. And if the Commanders really want to show they're all in on this window, they should seriously consider calling the Packers about Key Walker too. Make the moves. Finish the puzzle. We're just days away from the full 2025 NFL schedule release. May 14th, mark it down. But rumors are already flying, and one of the biggest involves your Washington Commanders. According to well-known schedule insider, or Aussie NFL, on X, Washington is headed overseas in Week 11 to face the Miami Dolphins in Madrid, Spain. The date? Sunday, November 16th. The venue? None other than Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, the home of soccer giants Real Madrid. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just another London or Germany game. This would be the first NFL game ever, held in Spain, and more importantly, the first football game ever played inside Bernabeu. No NFL team has done this before, and the Commanders could be the ones to make history. Now, let's talk about what this means. The NFL is making a global push. Germany, London, even Brazil this season. But Spain? That's uncharted territory. And the league isn't just sending anyone. If this leak is true, they're sending Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, and the new-look Commanders to help grow the game. Think about it. This team suddenly has national buzz, a dynamic rookie quarterback, a new culture, a legendary stadium. It's a chance to showcase Washington on a global stage. And for Commanders fans, it's a sign that this franchise is relevant again. We're no longer being ignored. We're being featured. The matchup itself is no joke either. Jaden Daniels versus Tua Tagovailoa. Two explosive offenses. Two teams trying to prove they belong in the playoff conversation. Washington and Miami have met 16 times before, with the Dolphins holding a 10-6 edge. But these teams haven't played since before the new Commanders era began. The last meeting, a 17-16 Washington win back in 2019. This time it could be different. You've got Jaden Daniels running Cliff Kingsbury's system, Deebo Samuel out wide, Brian Robinson pounding the rock, and a defense rebuilt from the ground up. Meanwhile, the Dolphins have speed for days. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. But they'll have to face a Washington front that's gotten tougher, smarter, and more physical under Dan Quinn. Madrid could be in for a show. So what's the catch? Well, travel like this is tough. Jet lag, disrupted routines, a neutral field, and playing in Europe in the middle of November could mess with the team's rhythm during the playoff push. But here's the thing. Good teams adapt. Great teams embrace the moment. If this coaching staff is as sharp as we believe, and if Jaden Daniels really is the leader this team's been waiting for, this trip won't derail momentum. It could build it. A win in Madrid. That's the kind of spark that galvanizes a locker room and fires up a fan base back home. But while we're talking about the future, we've got to be honest about the present, because this roster still has one major hole to fill. Middle linebacker.ESPN's Aaron Schatz didn't hold back. He flat out said that the Commanders' linebacker depth is terrible, and if either Frankie Luvu or Bobby Wagner goes down, we're in real trouble. Let's be clear, this team barely plays base defense just 13% of the time. But even in sub-packages, you need reliable second-level defenders. And right now, the depth chart behind Wagner and Luvu is full of question marks. Dominique Hampton didn't play a single defensive snap last year. Jordan Magee, just 15 snaps. And while Kane Medrano, the 6th round rookie, is intriguing, you can't expect him to step in and be the guy right away. Look, Adam Peters has been strategic this offseason. No panic moves, no wasted signings. But if there's one area he needs to shore up before camp, it's middle linebacker. Wagner is 34. Luvu is a tone setter, but you can't expect him to play every snap. Injuries happen. And in today's NFL, you need linebackers who can cover, communicate, and hit. There are still free agents out there, veteran stopgaps, guys who can come in, learn fast, and be ready if needed. And don't be surprised if Peters swings a late trade during camp cuts, especially if the key walker buzz continues to heat up. So let's connect the dots. You've got an NFL franchise preparing to make history in Spain, a rising star quarterback stepping into the spotlight, a front office that's remade this roster from top to bottom, and one glaring need left to fill before things truly kick off. This isn't just another rebuilding year. This isn't just another rumor. This is the NFL saying, Washington matters again. From Ashburn to Madrid, the burgundy and gold are making noise, and the rest of the league better start paying attention. All right, Commanders Nation, it's your turn. Would you sign Jadavion Clowney right now? Is he the missing piece for this? Pass rush? And what do you think about a potential trade for Key Walker? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and share this with a fellow fan who needs to hear the truth. This is Commanders HQ, where passion meets the front office. See you in the next one.